Well, good afternoon. I'm Brian Lowe of Brian Financial, coming to you from our brand new headquarters here on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge. So whether you're in Vanderbilt, Baton Rouge, or New Orleans, we have locations, businesses in each one of those areas. Now, we're doing satellite meetings with every client that may be living in Hammond or Mandeville or even Slidell or Mississippi for that matter. We have clients all the way in Houma. So you're able to do a Zoom meeting, a go-to meeting. You can see everything on my screen. You can sit in the comfort of your home. So if you listen to us for the first time out there, you can listen to us on radio every Saturday, WJBO. It's going to be 1 o'clock in Baton Rouge. If you're in New Orleans, it's going to be 99.5 FM every Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then every Sunday at 10 a.m. as well. So I'm Brian Lowe at Brian Lowe Financial. We want to invite you to our new facility. We're very proud of that here on Bluebonnet. Now, let's talk about the coronavirus. Obviously, everybody's staying at home. Companies are maybe going out of business. We have restaurants are going to be struggling. The question is, when are we going back to work? Number two is, how will this affect your money? In a day-to-day working environment, it's the same concern people have is, how long will my money last? How much income can I take? What is my next step with my money? On a daily basis, my goal is to help reduce people's risk. So your values, write these down. Safety, comfort, income, and growth. These are things that will help you decide what's your next step. And now with the new virus on hand, could this last longer than expected? We know that China's back to work. We know that the time frame, we know we got 3 to 4 weeks at least ahead. The question is, how this will affect your money. And if the market recovers tomorrow, what will be your next step? So if you got the 20% back, the 30% back, what would be your next step? Think about how you have felt the last several weeks. You've already thought about making some changes. If you had the money, hindsight is 20/20. Yeah, you were thinking about reducing the risk in the past, but now you lost the money. Let's think about two things. One, the last 10 years, we've had the biggest bull market in history. So you haven't lost a lot, you've given back some of the gains you had. So if the market does come back and your money comes back on 10%, 20%, where's the change where you're going to take some of the gains off the table? Because in the last 10 years, we've had the biggest bull market in history. I can remember how people felt back in 2000 to 03. Market history, I worked at the bank. So those of you who don't know me, 20 years ago, I worked at Chase Bank, and then I left after 5 years to join ING. And then after 5 years at ING, I decided to open up Brian Lowe Financial. So here we are 21 years later in the business. I opened my business in the recession of 2007 to 09. So here we are, built a brand new $1 million building, and now the beginning of another recession. So I can make it, you're going to make it. The question is, what's the next step with your money? The virus is a big issue today. How will this affect your retirement? The question is, what are the next 3 steps you should take with your money? We have 3 actionable plans to take now, not to wait. So as we get through this, we're going to talk about the Dow. The Dow extends in a 2-day sell-off, 1,900 points after the CDC tells Americans to brace themselves for a possible virus outbreak. Number 2, they come up with every continent except Antarctica as reported of a virus. I think in the U.S., I think we have 1 state left that maybe doesn't have an outbreak, but that's a concern. What is the next step there? Number 3, sweeping closures of Italian towns as the virus continues to rise. In Louisiana, yesterday was over 55,000 cases. Today it's over 6,300 cases. So we're rising, could be as much as 20 to 30% a day, could be up to 50% a day. Ultimately, on the screen, sweeping closures, and ultimately, number 4, CDC urges at-risk Americans to take action by stocking up on food. So you're seeing people rush to Costco, Walmart to buy toilet paper and supplies and food to stay at home. Now we have the governor with a stay-at-home order, and other businesses are open that are essential, but as a whole, you're seeing neighbors you haven't seen before in your neighborhood. So we all want to joke about that, say hello, meet some new people, but keep your distance, right? Ultimately, Israel says anyone entering the country may self-quarantine for 14 days. So again, how long will this last? We have ultimate questions. Every single one of you are concerned about your money. Let's face it. How much money do you have in cash set on the side? We've talked about this for 20 years. You should have 3 months, 6 months worth of living expenses on the side. You're not eating into that. Some of you are being furloughed right now. Some of you may be laid off. We've already gotten notices of a lot of people being laid off. So when one of you had 1 to 3 years to retire, you're being asked to be let go today. And let's face it, even if we didn't have this problem, we were getting people asked to retire early. So these engineer firms can hire these younger engineers for half the price and put them to work for more hours, and they can get 2 or 3 of them for the same price as the guy that's 65. So now with the outbreak, people are trying to cut back in many ways. Payroll and such as that is only going up. Again, we got to find ways to continue your income. So we're all worried here. The downfall is 2,100 points in a day. We've had moves of 2,100 points in a day, up and down. So the question is, 1 to 3 point moves in a day is not the same as it was 20 years ago, because now the Dow and the S&P is worth a whole lot more. So again, we've had, 10 years of growth. The question is, what's our next step with our money? We've got some actionables coming up as to what you should be doing. The New York Stock Exchange trips circuit breakers. Boy, I think we had how many trips in a day? Was it 2 or 3? We've had a lot going on here lately, whether you're keeping up or not. It's unheard of to say this is a normal basis to trip these breakers. Now we've got some of the market itself that are now working remotely as well. So it's an interesting time to say the least. Now the S&P, what if you needed access to your money on April 6, 2020 at 8 o'clock in the morning? You were to call your broker, your banker, your insurance agent to start taking income. You had $500,000, and it's 5 o'clock that day. The $500,000 went down to $462,000. That's $38,000 disappeared in one day. How would that affect your income? How long would that money last? The old rule of 4 said on $1 million, if 7% of it was the stock market return on 60% of money, and then 40% would have been a 4% bond, you would have never ran out of money. Now with that $500,000 with the 462, we still got to make that money last for 20, 30 years. The question is, if the market has more corrections, when we're selling more shares at a cheaper price, that's called reverse dollar cost averaging. So you want to write that name down, reverse dollar cost averaging. Now, we're all concerned about our next step. Again, the old 4% rule, myth or reality. The question is, that was $20,000 income at a 4% rate. So that would have been a fixed annuity, could have paid you 4%. 20 years ago, we had CDs in the bank at Chase paying 5%. Would you like to get a 5% CD today, insured, FDIC, and no fee? Of course you would have. But you know what the lady that was 75 back then told me? Oh, Brian, I'll wait for a better rate. And look, hindsight's 2020. What happened for 20 years? Interest rates only went down for 20 years. And the question is, how long will it take for rates to go up? You can't hold your breath waiting for a great CD rate. On today, the average, you're looking at 1 to 2% on CD rate. So $100,000 and Social Security is not going to cut it. Much less $500,000 at a 3% or 2% CD still is not going to be enough interest to continue your income. So when on $500,000 it was $20,000, now that we lose $38,000 on that day, what if you needed it? Some of you did need the money. Some of you are taking money. So now you're doing, again, dollar cost averaging on the reverse, and we got to sell more shares at a cheaper price. No one's taught you that in the last 20 years. You were only taught to dollar cost average. Now the concern is reverse dollar cost averaging. What are the compounding effects of that? And again, the million-dollar question, how long will your money last? Look, just lost nearly 2 years of income in 9 hours. So that's a big drop in income to think about. Are you confused? Do you know where the economy is heading? Have you done the risk report? What we're going to do for you today is allow you to call in. You can email your statement. We'll do a risk analysis to figure out how much risk is in your portfolio. We're going to email you what the report looks like. It's going to break down your stock funds, your bond funds, and find the cancer as to maybe figure out what your next step may be. So we'll supply you with the top 50 list of stocks, what to buy going forward. We'll send you 3 or 4 categories of other alternatives outside of what you may be doing today to help supplement your income going forward. So here it is on the board. These are 3 actions we want to take now. So one is uncover your risk exposure. So that's the risk report that's on the screen. This will be your report. We're going to supply it for you. You're going to email us. It'll be Kyle@brianlowfinancial.com. It'll be Nicole@brianlowfinancial.com. Or you can email me directly at brian@brianlowfinancial.com. Ultimately, we want to get you the risk report. This report is going to do a couple things. A 2013 bull market. What would happen with your money if we had another bull market? It's going to say, based on your risk number, the S&P carries a risk of about 72 to 75. The question is, what's your risk number? And if I compare the 2 numbers, is it more or less than the market itself? In this case, a 31% risk number would only make 12% versus the market made 32%. Now, I look at a 2008 bear market with a risk number of 72, could maybe lose 36%. It could be as much as 368,000. Ultimately, as a risk number of 31, it would be only $108,000 reduction in value. So again, can you afford to lose 10% or more of your money is the question. Now look at another financial crisis. This is a financial crisis. We're living through it. We're creating history right now. But on a risk number of 72, with the S&P 500, that would be as much as 50% loss. And if it had a risk number of 31, it would only be a loss of 160. So again, the risk number does matter. My question to you is, do you know what your risk number is? If you don't know your risk number, you want to call 225-292-4225, and we will start the process to get to the information. There will be no cost to that. We don't necessarily have to help you. We want to give you the information for free to help you decide what your next step is going forward. My question to you, has your broker called? Has your insurance agent called? Has your local bank called to do the risk report, which is very needed at this time? Down here, it also says if we have an interest rate hike. So my question to you is, do you believe interest rates will go up? Do you believe they will go down? My question is, how much lower can they go knowing interest rates are extremely low? So again, it's going to take that into consideration. So 3 actionables that you need to take right now. Number 1, uncover your risk exposure. Second is to uncover your retirement income analysis. That's the next thing. It's going to be a roadmap. It's going to be on Brian Lowe letterhead here. Do you have a roadmap? Most of you out there have a growth portfolio, a 401k. It was never designed to take income. It was designed for growth. A lot of you have a stockbroker, and the stockbroker still wants to keep 75% of your money in the stock market because that's what the stock market broker does. The truth is, you need to find someone who's independent, a fiduciary, and a CEO, and has been doing this for 20 years. So we want to give you a green light. Maybe you already have someone you're working with. We just need to supply you with some ultimate answers that maybe are outside of their business model. We want a true fiduciary. So we can go to finra.org. I'll say it again, finra.org. Look up the person you're working with and see what licenses they have. Now, if I did that for myself right now, you can do that at home. Go to brokercheck.com, type in Brian Lowe. You're going to find out that we have 21 years in the business. You're going to find out that we are a fiduciary, a Series 65. You're going to find out that we carry a brokerage license, a Series 7, to buy and sell stocks and bonds and mutual funds. And the last one is a Series 6 to offer mutual funds as well. So again, my question is, if someone in the marketplace tells you to sell your stock or bond or mutual fund, and you never looked them up on FINRA to find out they have a license, and we find out they don't have a license, how can they tell you what to do with your money if they don't have the stockbroker license to begin with? Now, can you imagine they want you to do an insurance-based product? Can you fault them for wanting to do an insurance product when that's what they do? The truth is, we want a fiduciary, and we'll look up the person you're working with, because it may not be the nice person you're working with, it's who is their CEO. So we're going to find out who the CEO is, and can they solve the problem? What's your problem? It's possible you're taking too much risk. It's possible you're paying too much in fee. So let's look at $1 million. On a portfolio worth $1 million at 1% fee, that could be as much as $10,000 in cost. Over a 10-year period of time, that could be $100,000 in cost. My silly question to you is, if we can lower that cost and now only pay $5,000 a year in fee, and now only pay $50,000 in 10 years, versus paying another $50,000 on top of that in fees, why would we want to save $50,000 in the next 10 years? $100,000 in 20 years. It does make a big difference to lower your fee. Lower your risk, lower your fee, and the last thing is increase your income. So retirement income analysis, We're going to supply that to you. You want to call now, 225-292-4225, or again, email Kyle@brianlowfinancial.com, and he'll get you the report. Not only will we get you the risk report, we want to get that to you, we also want to get you the roadmap, which is going to help detail where the problem is, uncover what 3 or 4 solutions may be an option that are outside of the current model you're dealing with today. Look, as you get older, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Again, we want to set your values connected with your money. By the way, we have classes coming up. We're going to give you times and dates of classes that I typically teach at the library, that I typically teach at LSU, that I typically teach in New Orleans at UNO, or even at the libraries in New Orleans. So if you want to take a class, we have classes coming up. There'll be 1 to 2 hours a night, and it'll be 1 night a week, and it could be 2 nights, it could be 3 nights. So if you're interested in taking the course, we will mail you a textbook. It's a $25 textbook. It's a working textbook. We're going to give you the $25 textbook for free, but we're going to hold you accountable through the process, because every single one of you needs to go through the process. Of course, we can't show up at the library today, and we can't go to the schools, but we can do this by Zoom meeting. You'll sign up, tell your friend, tell your person that just got laid off, tell the person that's being furloughed, because they could be next as well. Or if you're just thinking about retirement altogether, you should be taking the class as well, so it's for everybody. Now, again, risk exposure review, the risk income analysis, and the last thing is a holistic financial plan. That'll be the roadmap, and of course, everybody's going to be given and be emailed from this response list. There'll be a little place to click a button. It says Calendly. My calendar will pull up, and you can put a time and date to do these reports for you. So on here, we can email you what we call the coronavirus worksheet. It'll be your name, phone number, email. And then, what did you get out of today's meeting? What did you get out of today's video? We'll talk about the possible concerns. What are they? Do you want to address them? You check a box, yes, explore, or ignore. So one was the risk exposure. You want to press either address, explore, or ignore. The second thing was the retirement income analysis. So again, address, ignore, or explore. And the last thing was the holistic plan. So if there's 3 options, there's one of those things that are going to make a lot of sense for you right now. So it's your risk, it's what's your next step, do you have an income plan? So one of those 3 options are going to be beneficial to you. Now, some of you are going to need 2 or 3 of those things, some of you are going to need all 3. The question is, where are you in the process? Now, if I look at home, where's your money? You got money spread out. We're going to give you a tool that's going to connect all your assets together. So we'll email you, whether we work with you or not, whether you take my class or not, or whether you listen to me on the radio. Either way, we'll give you one simple tool to connect your investments together. Your bank, your Schwab account, your TD, Ameritrade account, whatever investments you're dealing with, we'll give you one simple tool to get more organized in this time of need. Now look, I can tell you, I've been around 20 years. I've been through the Katrina. We had plenty of people in New Orleans, everything wiped out. They had 10 plus feet of water in their home, and they lost all documents. We were able to supply them with new documents because we had all that stuff stored. So we'll still give you the tool, whether you work with us, it's called eMoney. We'll allow you to use that as a free service for you to get more organized. You can also take your will, and we can store that electronically inside the program. We can take your life insurance policies, and again, store them inside the policy, or inside the plan. It's called the vault. All that stuff is safe, and even if your bank got broken into, per se, electronically, we've had a client in Slidell, the bank was compromised, and so basically we shut the program down. We changed all his account numbers, and he didn't have any problems or issues with that. So it's triple firewall connected. It's simply extremely safe. We want to give you the option to be able to use it. So the question is, do you know what your next step is? We want to help you figure out where your next step is. We all want to be told, hey, everything's going to be right. Everything's going to be okay. So if you have nothing to worry about, you're going to be just fine. The question is, what are some options to optimize what we're doing today? What are some options to benefit from the crisis that we're going through? Some smart person said, through a crisis, there's optimistic opportunity. So the question is, what's your opportunity? 1, to increase your income. 2, to lower your risk. 3, to find some other alternative that you may not have been thinking about. Again, there's optimistic opportunities out there for you to consider with your money today. Now, again, with Brian Low Financial, Again, we're in Baton Rouge, we're in Mandeville, and of course New Orleans. We're about to stop the tape, so I want you to look on the calendar. It says Calendly on your screen. And if you click on that, it's going to have a time and date of what my calendar looks like, and most of those are going to be a Zoom meeting. So you want you to show up. You might be asked to email some stuff in. We'll print the report. And again, you're going to get the risk analysis. It's going to tell you how much risk is in your portfolio. You're also going to get a coronavirus response sheet that you get to fill out before we start the meeting. So again, the question is what time and date makes most sense for you. And the last thing is you want to make a little note on the sheet here, on the response sheet. Do you want to take my class? So even if you don't respond here by email, we're going to give you some times and dates. Go to Brian Lowe Financial Facebook. And you can also look back at the events we've done in the past. You can click on Secure Act. The Secure Act was something we did here recently. It was about a 20-minute video. Click on that. And 2 takeaways from the Secure Act. Number 1 is that you can defer your R&D payments now to 72. Number 2, you can also, now if you both pass away, husband and wife, the money used to be able to do a stretch IRA. We cannot do that anymore. The money has to be paid out over a 10-year period. Now, with the new rules and regulations with the Congress, we have a $2.1 trillion stimulus package. If you're a business owner, we can help you get approved for these loans, payroll, insurance, rents, things like that. The question is which loan to do. There's 2 different types, the idle loan and the paycheck loan. We will help figure out which of those options is best for you. Now, also taking money out of a 401k. There's some new rules and regulations that maybe we can take out some withdrawal and get around the 10% penalty as we're going through this time period. But we want to be specific on how we do that. So if you're thinking about pulling money out of your 401k, you want to call. In closing, write these things down. Number 1, risk report. Number 2, roadmap. Number 3, figure out what your next step is. All this stuff will help you determine, no matter who you're working with. If you have a broker, an insurance agent, and a local bank, I'm a fiduciary. We're going to put our best foot forward. My 20 years of doing this and the CEO of my company, I'll help make logical decisions on what you should do next. Thank you. Click on Calendly. Get on the calendar. Look forward to visiting with you on the Zoom meeting. Have a great day.